I thought I was helping my best friend after his divorce, until my neighbor knocked on my door holding security footage that made me sick to my stomach. The man I trusted like a brother had been entering my bedroom while I was at work. But that wasn't even the worst part. Ethan and I had been friends for almost 15 years. We met in college, survived terrible jobs together, stupid relationships, money problems, everything. So when his wife divorced him out of nowhere, I didn't hesitate. He called me around midnight, sounding completely broken. I still remember hearing cars passing in the background while he talked. "She changed the locks," he said quietly. I sat up immediately. "What?" "She packed my stuff in trash bags, man." There are moments when your brain doesn't think logically, it just reacts. And mine did. I told him to come over immediately. No rent, no timeline, no pressure. Just a friend helping a friend. At least that's what I thought. The first week actually felt normal. Honestly, too normal. Ethan cleaned after himself, bought groceries, cooked sometimes. He kept thanking me constantly. "You saved me," he told me one night while we watched basketball on the couch. And I believed him. That's the part that bothers me now, because there were no obvious warning signs, not at first. Then on day 9, I came home early from work because the office lost power. The second I opened the front door, Ethan looked startled. Not guilty, just tense. Like I interrupted something. "You're home early," he said quickly. I laughed, clearly. But then I noticed my bedroom door slightly open. I always closed it before leaving. Always. I ignored it. Big mistake. 3 days later, my neighbor Linda stopped me outside while I was taking out the trash. Linda was one of those older women who notices everything. Nothing happened on our street without her knowing. She smiled awkwardly. "Your friend doing okay?" I shrugged. "Yeah, why?" She hesitated, then said something strange. "He just seems very active while you're gone." I laughed a little. What does that mean? But she avoided the question. Instead, she said, "Just be careful who you trust." Then she walked back inside. That sentence stayed in my head the entire night. After that, I started noticing little things. My shampoo bottle moved, kitchen drawers slightly open, my office chair adjusted lower than usual. Tiny details, the kind that make you question yourself. I convinced myself I was paranoid, until Friday night. I got home around 11 p.m. Ethan was asleep on the couch with the TV still on, at least pretending to be asleep. Something felt wrong immediately. I walked into my room and froze. One of my dresser drawers was slightly open. Inside that drawer was a watch my father gave me before he died. I checked instantly, still there, but underneath it, my shoebox had been moved. Nobody knew about that box. Inside were private things, old letters, cash, personal documents. Someone had gone through it. The next morning, Linda knocked on my door, and in her hand was a flash drive. "I didn't know if I should show you this," she said quietly. My chest tightened immediately. "My son installed security cameras outside my house last month." Then she added, "One of them points toward your front door." I already knew. Before even watching it, some part of me already knew. That night, I plugged the flash drive into my laptop. At first, nothing looked strange. Ethan checking the mail, taking out trash, leaving for groceries. Normal things. Then the timestamps changed. 11:12 a.m. I was supposed to be at work. The footage showed Ethan walking toward my bedroom window outside, looking around first, then pulling something from his pocket. A key. My key. I felt my heartbeat in my throat. He unlocked my bedroom window from outside and climbed in. Not once. Multiple times across different days. I couldn't breathe properly anymore. But then the final clip played. And honestly, I wish it never had. The footage showed Ethan entering my room again around noon. But this time, he wasn't alone. A woman followed him inside. Blonde hair, black hoodie, sunglasses. At first, I didn't recognize her. Then she turned slightly toward the camera, and my entire body went numb. It was Rachel, my ex-girlfriend. The same ex Ethan spent months comforting me over after the breakup. The same friend who told me, "You deserve better than her." The same guy I let live in my house for free. They stayed in my bedroom for almost 2 hours. My bedroom. I didn't confront him immediately. That's the scary part. When betrayal becomes too big, your brain slows down. Everything feels unreal. So instead, I watched him, and suddenly I noticed everything. The secret texting, the fake sympathy, the way he avoided eye contact now. He knew I'd eventually find out. That evening, he sat across from me eating pizza like nothing happened, talking about basketball, laughing. Meanwhile, I felt like I was sitting across from a stranger wearing my best friend's face. The next morning, I finally confronted him. No yelling, no dramatic speech. I simply placed my laptop on the kitchen table and pressed play. The moment he saw the footage, his face completely changed. Not shame, panic. Pure panic. Bro, listen. Get out. Get out. Then he said something that made everything worse. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Like this? Like this? I finally exploded. You brought my ex into my house, into my room? Then he shouted back. She said you were never over her. That sentence hit harder than everything else combined, because suddenly I realized they'd been talking long before I knew. Ethan packed his stuff in silence. No apologies anymore. No excuses. Just silence. But before leaving, he stopped at the front door, and for a second he actually looked angry at me. Then he said, "You think you know the full story, but you don't." A week later, Rachel called me. I almost ignored it. I should have. But curiosity is dangerous, so I answered. And what she told me completely changed everything again. According to her, Ethan had been talking to her before our breakup even happened, planting doubts, telling her I was hiding things, convincing her I wasn't serious about the relationship. Little comments over time, quiet manipulation, slow poison. Then she said something that genuinely chilled me. He used to ask weird questions about your finances. That's when everything clicked. The bedroom, the drawer, the shoebox. This was never just about Rachel. Ethan had been studying my life for months. A month later, Linda stopped me again outside. "You doing all right?" I nodded slowly. Honestly, I was exhausted. Not angry anymore, just exhausted. Then she handed me an envelope. "Your mail got delivered to my house by mistake." Inside was a credit card application, under my name, but with Ethan's phone number. I just stood there staring at it silently while cars passed behind me. And suddenly every memory with him started replaying differently in my head. Every joke, every conversation, every time he asked about money, every time he offered to help organize my paperwork. 15 years. 15 years of friendship, and I still never really knew who was living inside that man. That night, I sat alone in my kitchen for hours. No TV, no music, just silence. I kept staring at the empty couch where he used to sleep. And honestly, that was the worst part. Not Rachel, not the lies, not even the footage. It was realizing the person I would have trusted with my life had been quietly destroying it behind my back the entire time.